Let's get one thing straight. If you're not being authentic, you are robbing yourself. People waste years pretending, performing, and pleasing only to end up miserable. Why? Because fake doesn't hold any value. You can fool people for a while, but eventually the mask slips. So today we're going to talk about why being real is your greatest asset and how you can stop betraying yourself for approval. The moment you stop chasing and start owning who you are, everything changes. People are drawn to truth. They might not always like it, but they do respect it. Authenticity is magnetic. The right people will find you, and the wrong people will weed themselves out. Look, you don't need to be liked by everyone, and you will never be liked by everyone. That is just the nature of life. There is no one person on this earth that is liked by everyone. But if that's the case, why are you working so tirelessly to make yourself likable to other people instead of working hard to make yourself likable to yourself? At the end of the day, if not everyone is going to like you, you might as well like yourself and have the people that not like you for who you are and not for something you're pretending to be. Because if you pretend to be something, then the right people won't be able to find you either. It's like that poem I mentioned about the masks. It's true. People won't be able to see you or recognize who you are if you don't live authentically and show up authentically. And I get it. It's easier to be disliked for a front that you're putting up. It feels less hurtful than to be disliked for being truly who you are. Somehow, when we're truly who we are, we take it way more personal to be disliked. But honestly, it's completely the wrong way to think about things because you're the person that's going to spend the most time with yourself in this life. What a waste to not even like yourself or to not even show up as yourself, to put on a front, because then the wrong people will be attracted to you. You'll never feel fulfilled because you don't have people around you who appreciate you for who you are because you don't give them the opportunity to see you for who you are. And then when you get more comfortable and parts of who you are show up, maybe these people don't like it. But instead of putting the blame on everyone else, you also have to recognize your own role in your suffering. Because they were just surprised by your actual character because you hid it for so long. If you were authentic and showed who you are from the get-go, then the people around you would know who you are. And varying degrees of your personality showing wouldn't change anything for them. But if you're presenting as entirely different than who you are, people will be surprised when who you are shows up. It doesn't mean that who you are is invaluable just because they can't see your value. It just means that you were surrounded by the wrong people and gave them a completely different impression of who you are because you were so concerned about being liked by others instead of liking yourself. And I get it. Society promotes conformity. They want us to be easy to control, to be just like each other. Fear makes people fake. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough. You think that if you show who you are, people won't like it and they'll leave you. But the reality is, this is an assumption that was fed onto you. And there is a nuance to it. I'm sure there have been experiences where you've shown who you are and there's been a negative response. But again, you have to think about the context. If you presented yourself as an entirely different person because you were putting up a front and you weren't being authentic, and then you get more comfortable and all of a sudden parts of your actual personality show up, it makes sense that maybe the people around you will reject that because that is not the person they befriended. But that has nothing to do with your value. It's just about your environment. It's like this story I read, now don't quote me because I don't remember the details, but it's basically about this grandfather that gave his kid a watch. And it was this vintage watch, and he said, take it to the different stores and ask them how much they'll pay for it. You know, he took it to one pawn shop, they said $200. He took it to another, they said $200. He took it to another, they said 50. He went back to his grandfather, he gave him the answers. The grandfather said, okay, go take it to this other store, high-end vintage dealer. He goes to the high-end store, they give him a offer of $100,000 plus dollars for the watch. The kid comes back, he tells his grandfather. His grandfather then tells him that the watch is like you as a person. If you're in the wrong environments, people are not going to see your value. It does not make your value any less. It just means that the people around you don't perceive your value. And being in the right environment is so imperative in having your value be seen by those around you and feeling valuable. But if you keep putting yourself in situations where you're attracting the wrong people because you're not living your authentic life, then you're consistently going to get the messaging that you're not valuable or who you are does not have value. When in reality, you just keep putting yourself in situations and environments that do not suit your authentic self. And a lot of this fear will present as people-pleasing tendencies. You want to do things because when you do things that please others, they praise you or reward you. And so you feel like your value is higher because you're pleasing others. When in reality, it's not that they respect you more or like you more because you're pleasing them. They just like being pleased. And the reality is, most people will use you if you're a people pleaser. Most people in this world will not care that they're using you if you allow yourself to be used. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not have a strong moral compass, which is an entirely different topic. But alas, that's the case. People are not going to feel bad for using you. They might placate you by acting like they like you because they enjoy the benefit of your people-pleasing tendencies, but they don't respect you. People respect people that have boundaries and who don't allow themselves to be stepped over. So even that win that you think you have by being a people pleaser and having people quote unquote like you is a false sense of security. Because in reality, when people like you based on what you can do for them, the second you can't do something for them or you can't fulfill that role, they'll drop you like you never meant anything anyway. And that's on you too, for putting yourself in that situation and for not having self-worth. Every time you change yourself to fit in, you lose a piece of who you are. Stop betraying yourself just to be accepted. Again, it's so silly. To be accepted by who? Who are these people that you're literally betraying the person you're supposed to be most loyal to, yourself, for randoms at the end of the day? Again, you can say they have an important role in your life in one way, shape, or form, or they mean this or they mean that. And I do recognize, for example, family relationships or deep interpersonal and intimate relationships may feel a lot heavier. But in reality, these are all just random people that don't inherently have a higher value to their opinion than anyone else. And it's certainly they don't have a higher value to their opinion of you than yourself. Like, seriously, use your logic. Like, why would another person's opinion of you be more valuable than your opinion of yourself? So how do you stop living a lie? 1, know yourself. Who are you without outside influence? What do you want? In doing this, I recommend a little bit of isolation. Just isolate yourself and really take some time to think. Who am I? Explore your different likes and dislikes and figure that out. What is it do you want from this world if nobody else had an opinion? What is it that you want? Number 2, stop apologizing. If your authenticity offends someone, that's their problem, not yours. Now again, within a context, this doesn't mean you can be a POS, okay? Doesn't mean that you can just go out there, hurt people and say, well, I'm living authentically. No, this is not an excuse to justify harmful and negative behavior. But if you're living authentically to yourself in a way that's not harmful to others, then who cares if they're offended? Stop apologizing. Number 3, walk away from anything that is misaligned. If it drains you, confuses you, or makes you shrink, it's not for you. Again, it's in human nature to excuse behavior when we care about someone. Oh, well, they act this way because it's their past, or oh no, but it's my soulmate. Oh no, but this or but that. But nothing. Stop excusing the misalignment of things in your life for some deep, intimate, emotional issue. Who cares? Everybody has issues. If somebody cares about you and values you and sees your authentic self, they will not allow their issues to get in the way of having you in their life. They will work on their issues to make sure that they can have you in their life. So stop excusing misalignment for bad timing or right person, wrong time. There is no such thing. It goes back to my point. There's just time and what you do with it. There's no right time and there's no right person, wrong time. If it was the right person, it would be the right time. Period. 4, speak your truth. Even if your voice shakes, even if people don't want to hear it, speak your truth. You have to say what you mean. People can't read your mind. People can't see through you like you're a window. Okay? If you want your truth out there, if you want to be seen for who you are and accepted and loved for who you are, you have to actually show who you are. You can't just expect people to understand the immensity and complexity of who you are without actually using your words. And there is so much benefit to owning who you are. Firstly, the moment you stop chasing validation is the moment people start to respect you. I chased validation and acceptance from others for so long in my life until one day I just got fed up because even with everything that I was doing, people still didn't like me. Not everybody liked me. I still was having issues and I felt so unfulfilled. So I said, screw it. If this is going to be how life is, I might as well be who I am. And the second I started being who I am, the second I started acting completely for my own enjoyment and not for the perception of others, is the second that people started respecting me so much more. And my relationships flourished and all the crappy people in my life disappeared and so many great people in my life joined. And another thing connected to this is opportunities for growth and for success in your life can only happen when you're seen. And people can't see you if you're constantly hiding who you are and masking who you are. You think you're protecting yourself, and maybe you're protecting yourself from deeper hurt, but you're also blocking yourself and hiding yourself from such deep joy and connection and success. Because if you are not who you are, how can someone see you? How can someone see your value if you're always masking yourself? Because inauthenticity is felt. If you are not authentic, people feel it. And when you are authentic, people feel it. I guarantee you, in all my experiences, I've had people comment on this point. Ever since I started just being who I am in all its complexity, not trying to fit into a box or a mold or a title, was the second I started getting this comment. And I was doing sales, so I was meeting a lot of new people. And across the board, different states, different part of the country, different ages, different demographics, the sentiment was the same. Within the first conversation or two that I would have with a person, they would tell me that I'm really authentic. And it's because I didn't try to mold myself into what I was supposed to be. Another thing is authenticity builds unshakable confidence. When you are authentically yourself and the only validation you seek is from yourself and God, you don't care about anybody else's opinion and you do not care about external validation. It is so deeply ingrained in our society to seek external validation that we don't even recognize that it's a thing that we do, that it's weird. Because literally every single person around us is seeking external validation. And once you make the shift to stop seeking that external validation and start living authentically, you start to see how ridiculous it is that people are putting on a mask and acting in a way for the sake of other people. Again, you give away all your power. Why are you giving away your power? You're making decisions based on the perceived opinions of other people and giving them the power to dictate your life and what trajectory you take. But in reality, you are the only one who matters in this scenario. Your opinion of yourself. And the second you take back that power, the second you take back charge of your destiny, instead of leaving it in the hands of literal strangers. And I get it. You're afraid of losing people. It's understandable. Everybody is afraid of being alone. Even the people that seem the most independent, that's just a response to life. We as human beings need connection and comfort from other human beings. So I get it. It's scary to know that you can lose people in this life. But you know what? It's a blessing. If you start acting authentically and you start losing people, that is a great sign. It's a blessing. Take it for what it is. It means that you are getting rid of the people that don't align with your authentic self. And because of that, there is room that's being made for the right people to show up in your life. You just have to be a little patient and maybe live through a season or two of loneliness before, and give God some time to bring the right people into your life. If you're not being real, dude, you're wasting your time. Stop putting on a performance. You are not on a stage. I want to challenge you to go one whole day without filtering yourself, without putting on a front. Just say what you mean what you say, do what you want to do, stop pretending, and see how much better you feel. It won't be easy, it will feel icky, it will feel uncomfortable. You might want to crawl out of your skin, but at the end of it all, you'll feel good. I can promise you, you will feel great actually, because whatever the outcome of the day might have been, at least you can stand knowing that you were yourself and you showed up authentically. And there's a lot of power in that. Don't underestimate the power in that. Because in reality, the people that are meant for you will never require you to be anything other than yourself. All right? That's everything I had to say today. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Peace out. Bye. Say bye, Frankie. All right. Bye.